Reports circulating in late 2024 suggest that Russia may have granted Iran a license to produce Su-30 and Su-35 fighter jets domestically, a development that could significantly elevate Tehran's air force capabilities amid its growing military ties with Moscow. The claim, echoed across various media outlets and social platforms since October, points to negotiations allegedly finalized during the BRICS summit in Kazan, Russia, from October 22 to 24, 2024. Yet, as of March 1, 2025, no official statement from the Kremlin or Russia's Ministry of Defense has confirmed this arrangement, leaving the story mired in speculation and raising questions about the motives behind the silence from both nations' capitals. The notion of Iran manufacturing these advanced Sukhoi jets first gained traction through posts on X and reports from outlets like Army Recognition, which cited a Telegram channel, Mezuzah, claiming Russia had approved production of 48 to 72 Su-35s and an unspecified number of Su-30s. Turkish and Iranian sources, including journalist Hayal Muazzin, amplified the narrative, framing it as a significant step for Iran's aviation industry. These aircraft, fourth-generation multi-role fighters renowned for their maneuverability, long-range radar, and versatile weaponry, would mark a dramatic upgrade for Iran's aging air fleet, which relies heavily on pre-1979 US-made planes like the F-14 Tomcat and Soviet-era MiG-29s. The Su-35, in particular, boasts the Irbis-E radar, capable of tracking 30 targets at ranges up to 400 kilometers, while the Su-30 offers a two-seat configuration ideal for extended missions. The backdrop to these claims is a deepening Russia-Iran partnership, galvanized by shared defiance of Western sanctions and mutual support in ongoing conflicts. Since Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, Iran has supplied Moscow with drones and ballistic missiles, prompting speculation that advanced military technology, like the Sukhoi jets, might be part of a quid pro quo. Iran's air force, long hampered by sanctions and spare parts shortages, desperately needs modernization. Deliveries of Yak-130 trainers in 2023 and mentions of Su-35 purchases by Iranian officials, such as General Ali Shadmani in January 2025, lend credence to the idea that Tehran is seeking Russian hardware. Yet the leap from procurement to licensed production remains unverified, a gap that fuels both intrigue and skepticism. Analysts point to several reasons why such an agreement might be plausible, yet lack official confirmation. Russia's defense industry, strained by the Ukraine war and Western sanctions, could benefit from outsourcing production to Iran, leveraging Tehran's industrial base to offset domestic pressures. Iran, meanwhile, would gain autonomy in maintaining and expanding its air force, reducing reliance on foreign deliveries, a strategic priority given its history of delayed arms deals, like the S-300 saga, which took a decade to materialize after initial agreements in 2007. The BRICS summit, attended by Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian and Russian President Vladimir Putin, provided a high-profile venue for such a deal, culminating in a 20-year strategic partnership treaty signed in January 2025 that emphasized military cooperation. So why the absence of an official Russian statement? One explanation lies in geopolitical caution. Transferring production rights for Su-30s and Su-35s, among Russia's most advanced exportable fighters, could provoke sharp reactions from the United States and Israel, both of which view Iran's military buildup with alarm. The US has already sanctioned Russia and Iran for their drone exchanges, and Israel, wary of Iran's regional ambitions, might pressure Moscow to withhold such technology, as speculated in 2023 when Su-35 deliveries reportedly stalled. Russia, balancing its Middle East alliances, may prefer ambiguity to avoid escalating tensions with Gulf states or complicating its Syria operations, where it maintains delicate ties with multiple players. Another factor could be domestic and logistical constraints. Russia's aerospace sector, led by Sukhoi and United Aircraft Corporation, is stretched thin, producing aircraft for its own forces and export clients like Algeria and India. Licensing Iran to assemble these jets, likely from pre-made kits initially, requires transferring sensitive technical know-how, a step Moscow has historically resisted. Past deals, such as the Su-30MK export to India, involved assembly but not full production rights, suggesting Russia might limit Iran to a similar arrangement. The lack of clarity on Iran's industrial capacity to produce advanced avionics or engines like the AL-41F1S further clouds the feasibility, potentially delaying any public acknowledgement until details are ironed out. Iran's own messaging adds to the murkiness. While General Shadmani confirmed Su-35 purchases in January 2025, he avoided mentioning production licenses, focusing instead on delivered aircraft. Earlier, in 2023, Defense Minister Mohammad Reza Ashtiani hinted at domestic fighter production capabilities, possibly to downplay reliance on Russia amid delivery delays. This pattern of vague or contradictory statements reflects Tehran's tendency to project strength, even when deals falter. Recall the Su-35 order touted in 2023 that never fully materialized. The absence of Russian corroboration might also suit Iran, allowing it to amplify the narrative for domestic morale or deterrence without committing to specifics. The speculation gained legs from unofficial channels, Telegram posts, Turkish media, and X-chatter, rather than state outlets like TASS or IRNA, which have remained silent or focused on delivered assets like the Yak-130. This reliance on secondary sources suggests either a deliberate leak to test reactions or a lack of finalized terms. Russia's defense ministry, typically vocal about export successes, might withhold confirmation to avoid scrutiny from the UN or other bodies monitoring arms transfers, especially given Iran's past sanctions violations. The implications of such a deal, if true, are profound. For Iran, producing Su-30s and Su-35s could shift regional power dynamics, challenging Israel's air superiority and complicating U.S. operations in the Middle East. A fleet of 48 to 72 modern fighters, even assembled from kits, would double Iran's combat-ready aircraft, easing maintenance woes plaguing its current roster. For Russia, it's a strategic gambit, cementing an ally, expanding influence, and offsetting production burdens, though at the risk of alienating other partners or overextending its strained industry. Yet without an official statement, the story remains a puzzle. Russia's silence could stem from diplomatic tightrope walking, unfinished negotiations, or a calculated choice to let speculation simmer, keeping adversaries guessing. Iran's mixed signals, confirming purchases but not production, suggest a blend of ambition and caution, projecting capability while awaiting concrete progress. As Europe and the US bolster their own defenses, the Russia-Iran axis hints at a counter-move in a global arms race. Until Moscow or Tehran breaks the silence, the prospect of Iranian-built Sukhoi remains a tantalizing rumor, one rich with potential, but light on proof.